Hey guys, just a quick message before we jump into the podcast. This was actually recorded before we made a switch on Amazon's New World. So we're now actually playing on the Helltopia server. We decided, or we made a group decision with the community that it was better for us to move to a quieter server because of the state of the queues on Helheim. So we are on that server. The full details are in our Discord, so make sure that you check that out. In the future, or very soon, they are going to allow you to actually move your characters from Helheim to other servers. So if you do want to wait, you can carry on with your character on Helheim, but a lot of people kind of got fed up with the queue, so we decided to jump across to this new server. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know because obviously that conflicts with some of the information in the podcast. But yeah, we'll jump into the podcast today and enjoy. Hello and welcome back to the HH Gaming Podcast, brought to you by hellhades.com. Today is episode 16 of the podcast, and today Saphira is actually on holiday, so I am joined by Lockers to co-host the show with me today, which is convenient because today we're going to be talking about Amazon's New World, which is a game that we've been waiting for a long time, and Lockers in particular has been creating content on this all through the testing stage.
Yes.
And with the plan of sort of launching his own channel specifically around New World. And in addition to that, last week we also launched our HH Gaming New World website. So links will be in the description below for that one. But yeah, Jack, how have you been getting on with New World, or Q World as people are calling it?
Well, once I was on, it was great, but
Yeah.
just getting on was a pain. It
It's
took me
been
so long.
bad, man. I mean, the thing is, I'm so used to this with other MMOs. You know, I still have nightmares about the launch of World of Warcraft Classic. But one thing that I've been just kind of, my mind's been blown by is the fact that they limited the servers to 2,000 people per server.
It's literally killing us. Like,
Yeah, it's
killing us. The whole company can't get on.
insane. And yeah, because you know we've created a company with the community, the Hell Hades community, and things like that. And you know, I think we've managed to get about 16, 17 people in the company at the moment, purely because people just can't get online. They're all stuck
Yeah.
in these queues. I mean, even now, it's it's nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I started queuing at about 8 o'clock this morning, and I've just got online right as we started recording the podcast. So I do apologize if I'm occasionally clicking around because
Likewise, I do not want to get
I
out.
do not want to get disconnected now that I'm actually in the game and I can start to play it. But I guess the negativity of the queues aside, and they are addressing it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the game in general?
I can't fault the game. I found a couple of bugs in that, but it's a brand new game. That's what I expected. But general gameplay, I can't fault it at all. Literally loving it.
What level have you got to at the moment?
So 23 I'm at. 23 and a half.
23, nice. So
But my
have you done
in-game
the
hours is 44, but queuing of
yeah,
that
how much
is
of
like
that was a queue?
it's probably like over half as queuing.
Yeah,
But
that's scary because
mhm,
I dread to think what my actual play time is because
mhm.
I was having an issue which I don't know if anybody else is having the same problem, and if you are in the Amazon New World queues and you're having the issue where you're getting disconnected halfway in the queue, it's coming up with like a timeout error. I did not realize, and I found out on a Reddit post that if you only click OK and don't click play, it will continue, and it actually seems to jump me forward in the queue. I don't know if that's just like
It probably disconnects the other people in front of you because they're pressing play again.
it's strange, yeah, because it seems that I get disconnected. And if you don't press play, you just wait about 30 seconds to a minute. It kind of just pops you back in the queue, and it feels like I'm jumping forward, but I don't know if I
Mhm.
actually am. But previously, what I've been doing is I've been getting frustrated with it, clicking the OK on the error message, pressing play, and then getting chucked to the back of the queue again. So I think I queued for about 11 hours yesterday, which
Yeah,
was
I literally
pretty
same.
bad. Uh,
I've done the same thing all day yesterday. I started queuing at probably 11 a.m.
yeah.
Got on like midnight. Literally was awful, but what can you do? I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, launch night was so bad for me
Mm.
because I literally got down to. So I was late on because, so for anyone who wasn't watching the live stream, on launch night, or launch day, I was actually out all day riding motorbikes. So I didn't make the actual start of the launch because the game went live at about 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get on at that point with everybody else. So I think I got home probably about 4:30 in the afternoon. And set myself in the queue. I think at the time I was 22,000 in the queue on day one. Um,
Ouch.
yeah, and it got down to I was position 4 at, I want to say it was about 10 o'clock at night. And as I got to position 4, there was a clap of thunder, a flash of lightning outside, and my entire house didn't get a power outage. It was just like a flick, just like the lights just kind of flickered on and off. Um, and that was enough for my router to just go.
Ouch.
And
So harsh.
by the time I reconnected, I was at the back of the queue again. So yeah, at that point I was like, right, guys, I'm going to bed.
I don't
That
even
was
blame you.
yeah, that
Don't
was
even
it. That
blame
was
you.
it for me. I went to bed. And I set my alarm. I got up at 6 o'clock the next morning, and my launch was yesterday morning. And again, yesterday morning I got on. So the servers were down because they were doing some maintenance to try and fix some of these issues that they've been having.
Mhm.
Um, the servers were down at 6, but they went live bang on 7 o'clock, and I was sat at my computer ready for it, so I got straight in. At
Nice.
at that point. Um, However, at about 10 o'clock in the morning, I have no idea why I just got kicked. And I ended up queuing from 10 in the morning yesterday until it was gone 10 last night. I think it was
Yeah.
about 10:30 last night when I actually managed to get back on again. So that
It's
was
so harsh.
sad
It's very
times.
inconsistent as well. The kicking of the queues,
Yeah,
like sometimes you'll be fine. You can sit for a 5,000 queue, but other times you're sitting through like a 2,000, you get kicked, and you're back to the 3,000. I've had it
yeah.
all day yesterday.
It's not funny. It's frustrating. But bear in mind,
Mm.
we know that this is like the first initial push, and they are making moves to address this. And when you actually do get into the game, it actually feels nicer than it did during testing. Like the
Yeah,
game feels more polished.
I've had no
Um,
lagging really either. I
no,
had it a lot in the testing.
I'm getting no lag in game. I'm getting, it's smooth. It doesn't feel clunky. Occasionally, when we were testing it originally, it felt clunky in parts. The game just feels good. It feels like
Mhm.
it's in a good place, and you know, I guess it just goes to show how many people are wanting to play this game based on
100%. Yeah.
the queues. But I mean, really, what can they do? I mean, yes, they need to increase the server size. There's obviously a reason why they can't. I've seen all sorts of posts about this. I've read
Mhm.
people saying that it's because of the way that the combat system works and the hitboxes. It effectively renders every player's pixels at any time
Yeah. Yeah.
on the server. So because you can hit somebody from such a huge range, the server needs to render them
Mhm.
constantly, basically. So that's why there's this limitation. I don't know how much truth's in that. This could just be people speculating on Reddit as to
Essentially,
why
classic
that.
Reddit's,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. It's like, why are we
The
sat in the queue? Let's work this out.
tinfoil hat theories and all that coming out.
Exactly. So there's obviously a reason why they're only allowing 2,000 people per server, but when there's
Mhm.
22,000 people in a queue and only
Yeah.
2,000 are allowed in, we have a problem. Amazon fix it.
I think on launch
It's-
day, I think it was like the general wait time was literally over 100 hours
yeah,
just to sit in the queue. I mean, yeah, it happened. We've moved on a bit now. A couple of days later, they've opened more servers,
yeah.
which is one way to fix it. But I want to play with my friends rather than join a different server.
And that's the thing for us as well, because we've sort of set up this company. We've told
Mhm.
people within the community, on our Discord, on our YouTube, things like that, to
Yep.
come and play with us here, and this is where we're going to be. it makes it very awkward when we're turning around and saying, actually, we're not there anymore.
Yeah.
But we're sitting strong. So for anyone who is interested in joining us, as of right now, we are on Helheim in the EU. It is literally hell on earth trying to get into the server.
Yeah.
But it is getting better. And, even over the past couple of days, it is improving.
Yeah, it is. But
They
I had
are
to wake up a
saying,
lot
yeah,
earlier.
yeah, and they are saying that potentially there's going to be options to move servers and things like that, and that's something that we're considering, because obviously we want to be able to play the
Yeah,
game, and we
exactly.
want to be able to play with you guys. We want to be able to play with anyone from our community who wants to get involved in this new venture that we're doing. Join in with wars, claim
Mhm.
land, and things like that. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that and be competitive is if people are able to get online. And even Hell
100%.
Hades is very, very busy, and he needs to be able to jump on and play as and when he's got time. And that's obviously a massive limitation, that if he needs to plan ahead, that he needs to queue for a couple of hours to get on. So yeah, we'll keep anyone posted. As I said, at the moment we are on Helheim, but that situation may change, and if it does, we will obviously notify everyone in Discord, and we will only do it if everyone can come with us, basically.
Mhm.
So if they open it up that we can transfer characters and we have a good enough window, because the other issue is people just getting online to transfer.
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't have to wait in a queue to actually transfer your champion, but the main thing is, what we don't want to do is just move somewhere where we're going to have the exact same problem.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think if server transfers come up, we'll maybe leave it 12 hours and just see how many people jump off of this server. And then we can sort of play it by ear and say, okay, cool. It looks like that place has maybe got 200 to 300 people in a queue at any given time, rather than thousands of people
To be
trying to get
fair,
on it.
with the experience I've had for the past few days, maybe other people just leave, then we stay. It could work out well for us. That's the
yeah,
plan, hopefully.
That's the other thing that I think will
Mhm.
really help once they do, because people are getting fed up with it. You can see people are getting fed up with it, and
Yeah.
and I can understand, because I'm getting fed up with it. It is really not fun, and it is frustrating when we're trying to create content, we're trying to grow this new website and create new guides, but at the moment we're only able to experience what we've already seen when we were testing the game, because you just can't get online for long enough, or over the past couple of days we haven't been able to actually get further in the game than we did during the testing phase. So
You'll also find there's a lot of people at AFK, like just auto running because they don't want to lose their place
now,
because it's so limited.
does that keep you online if you're also
No,
running?
don't do that. Hell Hades tried that to record a video, got kicked right to the
Oh,
back.
bad times.
You have to basically, I think, move 10 meters like in different
Oh,
directions, roughly.
okay.
It's not 100% exact, but roughly.
There's me trying it right now. It's just like, oh, we got to record the podcast. Yeah, we'll just auto run. It'll be fine. But I really don't want to get kicked out. So, what weapon did you decide to go for in the end, Jack? Because you were playing healer in testing, weren't you? Have you done that again?
Yeah, I'm still playing healer. I'm playing healer, and I don't really have a secondary. I haven't used it at all.
No?
I've got the sword and board, but I'm not using it. I'm just going all out life stuff, trying to get the mastery score up.
How are you finding the life stuff? Because I know they did some adjustments to it. Have you
Can't
noticed any
really
change?
notice it. No, like maybe if I'm looking at all the stats individually, I'm losing a bit of damage here and there, but I expect that. I'm a healer.
Yeah.
So yes, I do like a little bit, but not enough to make me want to change to a higher DPS weapon or whatever.
No. And I guess as well as that, the other cool thing about being like the healer class is that you've got that survivability. Because I tend to find myself like stopping and having to eat and
Yeah.
wondering
Set up
where
a campfire and
wondering where I'm going to get my next health potion from, and I think things like that. So you do have that like continuous flow, I guess, of
yeah, no, it's very
progression in the
helpful
game.
because right now I'm on quests where I'm not at the right level to do it. I'm really low in comparison with the quests. So having the life stuff is really just life saving. Really,
Sure.
down to run back, then run another mile or something to.
Have you
the
jumped
quest.
into the first expedition yet?
Not yet. I'm trying to level up a bit more just so I'm not just going to die instantly. Basically,
Yeah, I don't fancy going in there at level 19 again.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
rough.
yeah, that was rough when we were testing it. It was I think you guys were all like in the mid 20s and I was 19, and yeah, it was an interesting experience to
Yeah,
say the least. I was basically stood at the back throwing hatchets, hoping that they would do some sort of damage, and you know, they just weren't. But I've actually gone with the spear this time.
have you?
Yeah, so
Nice.
I'm playing spear, and then my secondary weapon is the bow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually really like this combination. I'll be honest, I haven't really used the bow, but I'm
Mhm.
really enjoying using the spear because I didn't use it during testing at all. But I did think it looked cool,
Mhm.
and
It's quite
yeah,
forgotten, I think, the spear. A
I'm
lot
I
of people going for like the two-handed hammer and like
yeah
the hatchet, whereas the spear you don't really see a lot. So it's good to
yeah
see a bit of variety.
I'm honestly loving it. I think it's a very cool weapon.
Mm.
Um,
No,
it,
100%.
the animations when you're down mobs and stuff, it looks like you're like stabbing them in the neck, and
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah. There is one ability that I haven't spec'd into actually in the spear tree, which I'm tempted to just try it out. Let me
Just
just
respect for it.
load it up in the game just so I can see what it is. So it's called a vault kick, and the
Right.
animation is the spear on the floor, and he's doing like a flying kick off the spear.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, and I
Just
really
respect for
want
it.
it, but I'm just gonna hold off on it for now because but it does look very, very cool. And the other tree actually allows you to throw your spear as well, so it becomes a javelin.
That's pretty
Um,
cool.
which again sounds like
I
a
suppose you
cool
got
little.
bow though. You don't really need that if you got your bow
Exactly,
sitting there.
exactly. So that's what I thought. So I've got my spear for like close range,
Mhm.
and then for any like pulling targets into me and things like that, I'm going to be
Yeah,
using the bow.
that's pretty cool. So what like dexterity are you going for? So like are you going for intelligence? Are you going
Yeah, at the moment I'm literally stacking full dexterity.
Mhm.
Because I'm basically gearing myself up to be a damage dealer,
Yep.
uh, like out and
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So
Cool.
I'm very much playing the DPS class. Be that whether I'm playing ranged or melee, I want to be versatile enough to sort of be able to come in close if need be, and at the same time
Mhm.
be able to attack things that are far away. But yeah, so it's different because I guess initially I was playing sword and shield,
Yeah.
and then moved across to what else was I used? I used the frost gauntlet, which I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
Um,
I think
and
Never's picked up, hasn't he?
yeah, and that was actually the only reason that I didn't go for that this time because
Okay.
Simon's using the fire staff, or
Mhm.
from what I saw, he was using the fire staff, and Never was using the ice gauntlet, and I was like, well, okay, and Paul or Sphere has gone down the route of doing the
He's got the rapier, I think.
he's got the rapier this time, yeah. And then obviously you're healing, so I thought, well, you know, I'll pick two weapons which we haven't got covered like within our
Mhm.
group, so that I can at least hopefully help people use these and be able to
That's good, yeah.
create guides. So yeah, I picked the spear just because I think nobody else was using it, and I haven't looked back, to be honest. It's just
Good.
like, yeah, this is a cool weapon to be using. It's like got all dash forwards and things like that. I'd love to be able to show it on the podcast, but at the moment I'm trying to not get mauled by wolves, which are about 5 levels higher than me, which I've just wandered into. Um, but yeah, so have you managed to get involved in any PvP yet in the game, or?
No, because we're not really grouping up right now because we're so split. I don't want to be going single PvP against a group of people that are just standing outside like the town to one
Yeah,
shot me. I just don't find that enjoyable. So when we're grouped up and we're at a reasonable level to fight people, then I think I will, but
yeah.
just not yet.
I know Paul messaged earlier saying that he's potentially involved in a war at 4:30 today. So
It's like he's on.
yeah, I think he's not sure whether he's actually going to get picked for it, but he's saying that. I think
It's not even our faction. It's a different faction.
no, but I think he's just jumped in anyway. I imagine actually, based on his level, because he's managed to level up quite quickly, he may get picked anyway, because they may just go for like whoever's the highest level. Because at this point,
it makes sense.
That's kind of what matters, I would have thought, because of the new level scaling in PvP and stuff. It's going to be a case of the more higher level players that they've got, the better.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what I think he did in the beta. He had the same thing. He was a higher level than the others. He got in, and yeah. So good luck to him if he's in it.
Well, hopefully, if he gets in, I think he did say that he'd be streaming it over on the HH Gaming channel. So it would be pretty cool to see that. So if anyone did check that out, obviously this video will go out tomorrow, so it won't be today. My cat is meowing in the background, so I apologize if you hear that. But yeah, so there's loads going on in New World. Also, at the same time, we've got a new fusion that's just gone live in Raid. So make sure that you check out our fusion guide over on the HH or the hellhades.com website, because we're going to be still updating that. Obviously, the stuff that we're doing in New World doesn't deter from the fact that we're still producing content primarily on Raid Shadow Legends. That's just
I mean, luckily we got queue times.
Yeah, so and as well as that, it's the joys of the fact that we've got a team now. We can work on different projects, and the best thing about PC gaming, I guess, and versus mobile gaming is that you can still play a PC game and have Raid on your other screen.
Yeah, literally.
This game hasn't taken away at all the fact that we're playing Raid Shadow Legends. It's just given us something else to do at the same time while auto clicking's going on in
literally
in the side.
I've got my iPad going somewhere. Don't know where it is. It's my bed, I think.
Yeah. So Jack, obviously you started a YouTube channel specifically geared around New World. Do you want to maybe give a brief rundown as to what it is that you're going to be doing with that channel? And
yeah, of course.
I guess the plans for it moving forward.
So it was quite hard for me to do anything between beta and launch because there's a lot just wasn't going on. Everything got pushed back. There's a lot of negativity around it. So I basically held off until launch, and now I'm going to try and do some like educational type of guides, because I see a lot. I see literally look at chat right now. There's 4 people asking, where's this, where's that? So
yeah,
the goal of it is to be fun and educational. So that's the idea of it.
And I saw you put out a video about one of the mining loops and things like that you'd found to make a load of money, to be honest, in the game very early on. So things like that, and getting in early on those sort of things like the trade skills is massively helpful.
100%. So I'm trying to level up like a certain skill right now, so I can show off that skill first before I go to like the next skill, basically. So it'd be like mining and then smelting, because obviously it leads to it. So
yeah, sure, they all tie in together.
Yeah, so that's the idea. Just try and get educational and keep it going forward like that.
Awesome. So what are you hoping for over the next, apart from shorter queue times, over the next few weeks in New World? What would you like to see happen?
Well, personally, I haven't tried the PvP yet, so I want to experience that before like I'd make any judgment calls or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to experience like the wars and like the outpost rush, because I think that's what I'm looking forward to most in the game.
Yeah.
Like that and the invasions, like the PvE plus PvP. It's just a pretty cool concept. So I'm hoping soon I can get leveling and experience some of the good stuff rather than just chopping trees and ironing.
So are you logged in right now?
Yes.
Okay. So, and what level are you at the moment?
So I'm 23.5.
Nice. And so for somebody who's just jumped on, they've finally got to the end of that queue. What advice would you give them for speeding up their leveling process and getting through the earlier levels as quick as possible?
Yeah, so multi-questing.
Dropping hints right now, by the way.
So multi-questing, like trying to do as many in the areas at the time. It's so big. I didn't do it in the beta, and I've definitely improved from game time, like my levels in comparison. And always like chop trees and mine as you go along.
Yeah.
Because most of the quests from the town hall, which is like fairly good XP for what it is deliver trees or deliver ores. So it's
I
easy stuff
have
to just do
noticed
that.
yeah.
So if you're just picking up on the way and it gets your leveling up, so it's literally like how many birds with one stone, really.
Yeah, and you actually from herbing, at least I've noticed, you get more XP per herb than you do per
Yes.
mob if you kill it. So
Yeah, there's definitely PvE's like a massive part of the game, and
so
yeah, try and multitask basically.
once you get past the queue, just
Yeah.
multitask your way through it and you're fine.
And don't ever log off. Don't go AFK and don't log off.
Yeah. So cancel all those plans for the next few weeks if you want to progress in New World. Just stay online.
Yeah, pretty much.
Order your food in. Don't take breaks. But do you know how long like the grace period is for staying online? Or
I think someone worked out 20 minutes plus you get a 5 minute are you here like check.
right?
So you roughly get 25 minutes.
Okay.
I think it's
That's
not 100% again, but
yeah. Don't know.
it's not a lot of time.
That, guys, but it's I mean, it's actually quite a lot of time if you're just taking a break and getting up, going stretching your legs. I knew it must have been something like that because yesterday morning, obviously I said I got online at 7. At around 8:30, I had to take my kids to school. So whilst I was making sure that they were getting ready for school and things like that, I was going AFK, but actually leaving the house and walking to school with them. I was out the house for a while, but I was still online when I got back. So
okay, that's pretty good.
But it's saying that is literally 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes out of the house. So, but I was happy to see that I hadn't been kicked at that point. Problem being, you know what, probably an hour later, I got kicked. And that was that one that landed me back in the queue. But yeah, so okay, guys. Well, let's leave it at that for this week. Obviously, we will be back next week. There will also be other videos that get released during the week as well, to keep you up to speed with things such as the fusion and stuff like that. But I've literally just been kicked.
No way.
Whilst we're talking, it says connection error, unavailable. World is under maintenance.
Oh no. That means everyone's getting kicked. I'm still in now, but
it lasted for the podcast, guys.